Is Christmas. It has so many facets. I'd like to explore 2 or 3 of them today. Mine is a personal story that I'm going to tell you, and I excuse the fact that it has to be personal, but I'm proud of the fact that it's that way. I want to introduce you to my family. For those of you who don't know me, I was in Edwards. I was born and raised 5 miles out of town in what we call the Forks of the River. I grew up here, and here I am 90 years later. I was one of 7 children. I was the middle child. I had 2 older brothers and an older sister, 2 younger sisters and a younger brother. I had a wonderful growing up life. This is a great place to grow up and to live and raise my own children here. I'm very blessed. When my next to the oldest brother was 62, he had a stroke at the mill and died, leaving only 6 of us then. And the 6 of us have remained so very close. My mother said to us on her last Christmas, was this in 1974, we always got together on a Sunday before Christmas. And she said to us that year, keep this family close. And that rings true in our hearts and minds all the time. Keep this family close. And so the six of us have remained that way. I'm the only girl in Franklin. My 3 brothers were here. 2 of them, only 1 left now. And then my 3 sisters were 2 in North Carolina, 1 in Tennessee. We still get together that Sunday before Christmas. They did it last Saturday without me. I missed it for the first time. I was sick, real sick. Of course, I missed that. Every other year we have a family reunion, and nobody misses. Last year, in August, we spend 2 days and another evening down at the Bronco Club, because that's dear and precious to us, near where we grew up. And they came from Germany and New York and Chicago and New Orleans, Chattanooga, Morristown, Tennessee, Valdosta, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina, and on up through here. They don't miss. 96 were supposed to be there, and 93 came. Wow. This is my family.
That is so awesome.
We all wear a color. Wow. Obviously for this picture. We're very proud of our colors, we're very proud of our families, but we're really proud of what we do at Christmas time. And that's what I want to tell you about. In 2002, all those years that we'd been gathering on those Sundays for Christmas, we brought presents to each other. We're early on. And then we got that idea, after we grew up a little bit, enough of that. We draw names. Oh, that was it. How many of you draw names? Drawn names, okay? We drew names. And we drew names, and we drew names, and oh my gosh, you'd get somebody, and the limit was, at that time, was $25 for an adult and children 10. Children drew among themselves, adults among themselves. That was a nice gift. That was years ago. And we did that so many times, and that Sunday we were nothing to work except presents and paper and all that kind of stuff, and we never got to really visit. It was all about opening gifts And somebody said, this is ridiculous. And so in 2002, or really in 2001, somebody said, let's do something with our money. Let's don't do this anymore. So we started bringing our $25 and our $10. And in the Christmas of 2002, we had enough people to come just a little bit over $1,000. And we turned our money in, and now my oldest brother, who was a World War II veteran, and I had taken him to the, when they dedicated the D-Day Memorial in Bedford, and he was so impressed with that. And they were in the throes of trying to develop that memorial, and he's decided, he was the first to decide, and it would go to the D-Day Memorial. We were thrilled. The second year, my older sister, she had been an instigator in the saving of a Governor Stone's home in North Carolina, and that opened as a wonderful learning place. And so our money went to the Hope Foundation. And then it was 2004, and it was my time. The Iraq War had started in 2003. And that year, I thought it'd be really neat if we packed boxes for soldiers in Iraq. And so we pooled our money, and how many boxes could we do? Long story short, we did 136 boxes. This is before shoe boxes came about, that idea came about. We bought boxes through the peanut patch. We bought cases for them to go in once they were filled. One of my travelers had a son who was a colonel in Iraq, and through him we sent 136 boxes for him to give out on Christmas Day to soldiers in Iraq. And that was the only hands-on Christmas thing that we did. But that was so wonderful, and I'm trying not to cry. That was 2004. And the lead young person that really working those boxes and really helping me in my garage where everybody was all assembled, not everybody, but a bunch of us, was Carter Stevenson. For those of you who don't know, Carter was Jennifer and Kent Stevenson's son. Our Troop 17 Boy Scouts that were killed in that fiery crash in Sebril. And my Carter had been my right arm packing those boxes for Iraq. He thought that was the greatest thing. And 2 years later, our money went to Troop 17. It's a memorial for Carter. My sister, I have a sister next to me who had no children. I guess where she wanted hers to go, to the SPCA. Animals. She loved dogs. My youngest sister was a camper, Smoky Mountain National Park. And my youngest brother, Frankie, he's a fisherman on the Eastern Shore. And at that time, there was a drive to help save the bay. And that was the 6 of us. And it worked out so well. We started with the children, our children. And we took my brother's oldest children and started with him. You pick a charity. And I can't go through all of these charities, but I just want to tell you a few of them and point 1 or 2 out. These what I call this next generation, they did the Blackwater Notaway River Keeper.
Yeah.
Some of these folks don't live here, but this is home for them. They did Franklin Cooperative Ministers twice. They did the Olive White Christmas Outreach. They did the Food Bank of Southeast Virginia, and that was before it came here. That was two of our children who lived in Norfolk, and see, that was big then. They did CHKD, because one of my grandchildren had spent a lot of time there. My older brother gave a week of dental care to Bland, that poor place in Southwest Virginia, every summer. And so they we sent our contribution to the Bland Clinic. And then we did the Good Neighbor Village in Richmond, which takes care of, it's a place where people who are not quite right, they don't have all of their faculties, but can live in a group home. And so we were connected with that, and so our money went there. And then, I did not know this house, but maybe you do, the Isaiah 117, and that's to take care of little children who are taken from abusive parents and kept in these places until they can be put into foster homes. So 1 year, ours goes there. Another one went to Glory Ridge, and Glory Ridge is a camp, and it sits on top of the mountain just outside of Asheville, North Carolina. And because it's on top of the mountain, it didn't get blown away and washed away, but what's below it did. But Glory Ridge, we did that because we have several of our folks who, it's a Christian camp that you go and work among the people in that poor county. And then I have two firefighters, and so 1 year they chose the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial. And then the Ag Museum over here, we decided to give money to that, and that whole thing of Ocean View, if you've seen it, that came from our Edwards family. I'm so proud to go over there and look at that. And if you haven't seen it, you need to go. That's quite, that museum, that train layout over there is something else. We grew up in Sycamore Baptist Church, and our parents and grandparents are buried there. And we decided to put one of my sister's grandsons chose as his Eagle Scout project to start the fence. And we've done the fence around the graveyard there. And then this Christmas, we're going back to D-Day, to the D-Day Memorial, because they're trying to buy a Higgins boat. Remember the Higgins boat was the boats that let those thousands down into the water, and they've gotten a boat, but they have to pay for it. They're very rare, not many of them left. And we found out that somebody would double our money, and so our money, as of this past Saturday, is going to the D-Day Memorial to help buy that boat, and somebody's going to match our money. Oh. We're thrilled with that. Folks, I can't tell you what that does for our young people. They're so pleased and so want to know, who is it this year? Who do we get to do this year? And we still, folks, have never changed from $25 and $10. Now, we're all in the $25 range, except for our 17 fifth generation. Our little ones, the oldest being 11 and the youngest 4 months. Wow. I would like to tell you, as of Jennifer's count to me yesterday, we are knocking on the door of $44,000 that we have given in little $25 increments or $10 increments. And that is Christmas in so many ways. And then Christmas comes in another form, and that's words. And Clemens Moore gave us wonderful words. And he painted a whole different picture of Christmas for us. Certainly one that appeals to children, but we're all children when it comes to Christmas. And so as I've done for many years, I don't know why I did it the first time, I will say the night before Christmas for you. It was the night before Christmas when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mom in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long windless nap. When out on the lawn there rose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon, on the breast of a new fallen snow, gave a lust of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donald Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, they mount to the sky. So up to the housetop, his coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. A stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings and turned with a jerk and laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. And I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." Thank you. There was another writer. His name was Luke. And there were, in the same country, shepherds, abiding in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were so afraid. And the angel said unto them, "Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ our Lord."
Gaynell, thank you.
Well, thank you all for
That was
listening.
absolutely lovely. I'm not going to get up and ring the bell. I'm just going to say, I hope everyone has as warm a Christmas season as the feeling I have right now after hearing that program.
Good, thank you.